Welcome to the Stellar Show, Fayette County TV, Channel 77 Breeze Line, as well as Q-Call. Here inside the Stellar's Collectible Shop, Uniontown Mall, with myself, Ken Philibom, the Duke, and store owner of the Stellar's Collectibles Shop, Victor Mullick. Let's get into you're holding it there, let's just get it out of the way. Malloy's Paving, 724-277-8037, 724-323-4179, even though you forgot to write the area code back here. We're good.
I try to help the guy and he calls me out on it. Once again, thanks to everybody from Jack that participated this year or called him about paving. Again, keep him in mind for next year, and he still has some time left for a couple of small jobs rest of the summer.
Yeah, that was an insider.
And we'd both like to thank Malloy's Paving for sponsoring us throughout the summer.
Yes, sir. All right, so what do we got, man? Let's throw out what you got first.
What I got first... Crap.
That's cool. I'll just jump into it.
Yeah, jump into it. I was waiting for you.
All right. You sound like everyone else around here. All right, so you missed a good time Saturday. Myself, showrunner Adam, 3D Dan Bird, and we had a special appearance in the outfield by Mean Dean. And I apologize.
You went to a Pirate game.
Yes.
That's what
yeah.
You kind of waiting for you to bring that up.
You missed the bobbleheads. I scored about 18 of them. And you know what? It's been a while, but we might have to take the show on the road to Philadelphia, maybe the week the Steelers play out there, or do something, because it's been about 20 years since I spit on the Rocky statue. And after my encounter with some of the fans this past weekend, even though it was a full moon that night, I think it's long overdue I do it again.
Is there video of you doing that?
There will be this time. Ask Brad Polakowski. He was there.
Why are you anti-Rocky?
Not anti-Rocky. I just wanted to remind Philly that they're beneath us.
By spitting on Rocky's statue, one of the great things.
In all fairness, and I'm not disputing the greatness of Rocky, but I thought the boxer that he played from Pittsburgh when he went against De Niro was better than Rocky, but that's just my opinion.
I'd like to do the rest of the show just like this. Moving on.
All right.
I believe you would do that to Rocky.
Well, at the time, that was like the only, that and Julius Erving. Name something else that was notorious in Philly about 20 years ago. Mike
the
Schmidt.
Broad Street Bullies.
But
the whole hockey thing. Anybody who's ever gone against Sidney Crosby.
Well, he owns them.
Just saying, there's a lot more appropriate things to spit on in Philadelphia than the Rocky statue.
I think that was kind of one of those things that was the closest at the time that I just needed to make my point. So let's see. And you know what? For those...
dun, 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 dun. Anyway.
But I should thank some of those, Philly's finest, because to accumulate that amount of bobbleheads, I did want to... I'll give an insider's tip out there. You hang out by Miller Lite Landing and you wait for that person complaining, oh man, that beer is that much. Hey, you know what? I'll buy it for you if you want to unload that bobblehead. And after they're 2 or 3 in, they don't think twice about it. So there you go.
Isn't Philly the city that put Sidney Crosby's cards in the urinals?
That's possible. I don't know.
I believe there's truth to that.
I haven't been out there in a while, so. And maybe we'll make a trip. So let's see. You know what? Speaking of road trips, we got a few of them coming up. We talked about training camp's going to be coming up. And speaking of training camp, so check the Stellar Show Facebook page, and we'll set up one for Instagram. I've been slacking on that, and just Fayette County TV in general, and social media. I'll be posting some updates like we talked about, and we'll talk about it on the show next week from the Fayette County Fair. What's a good place to get some autographs? And I'm going to scout that out Thursday and Friday, and we'll get you some updates. So stay tuned for all that. And also, we got the Fayette County Fair, July 31st. That's a Wednesday in the evening. We'll be in Building 2, where we're going to be filming live. So get up there. Like I said, give us positive, negative, whatever. And also, the Glass Festival at the end of September. Rick Fike here, our producer, he's done a lot of work with the festival like myself, but we are invited. We will be... we'll
partaking.
Before Scott Blasey plays, another Fayette County's finest. So, after we film, we could always go to the Ken Cave and watch the Steeler game.
And speaking of watching the Steeler games, Pittsburgh Stellar Collectibles at the Uniontown Mall has changed its days that it's open. I'm now closed on Mondays, and we'll be here all of the subsequent Sundays until football season's over. So if you need somewhere to watch the Steeler games, I'll be here most of the time, 1 o'clock on. It's a pretty good time coming up and just arguing. And that leads to some of the stuff we're going to be doing with fantasy football as well, coming up in the subsequent shows. That's use of subsequent twice. I'm not doing it anymore.
Well, let's get it in
it's
a third
big
time.
word. I'm kind of stuck.
So, subsequently, do you have anything else to talk about before we close this segment up?
One of the things going on this weekend in Cleveland is the National. Just wanted to mention that real quick. If anybody's bored this weekend, you can drive out to Cleveland and check out the card show there. It's the biggest one of the year, other than the one that FanFest at Fanatics that's coming up in August.
Yeah, they're really giving them a run for the money, huh?
They really are. Watch out for Fanatics coming up.
Yeah, right.
That's one of the things to watch for when they do the original public auction on the stocks. That's a Google type explosion that's coming.
All right. We'll save that for the money show.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be back after this.
You spit on the Rocky statue?
Yeah, why wouldn't I? Shouldn't have been there.
Oh my goodness.
Hi, I'm Ashley with the Fayette Chamber here today with another ribbon cut. Today we're at Brumley's Luxury Detail.
Welcome back to the Stellar Show here at Fayette County TV, Channel 77 on Breezeline and Q-Call. Here we go. We're going to jump into Mail Day, sponsored by Yinzer Valley Farms. Like I've mentioned in the past, wing nights on Wednesday, and also they got some tribute nights on Friday. It's a great location for weddings. So before I open up this week's Caden's favorite section, the wax, the vintage wax, Victor, you got some.
One of the things that I really enjoy over the course of owning this store is digging out old photographs, and you're gonna get to see some of these blown up in front of you. These are pictures of Terry Bradshaw, Mean Joe Green coming down the hill back in the days before all the stands were put in. And that's why if you guys, when you're cleaning out the house and you get to see negatives, you never know what exactly you're gonna see in the negatives. There's a picture of Rocky Blyer. These were taken with 35 millimeter film, and you didn't have what you have today with these modern cameras where you could just click, click, click. You got one shot and you hope it developed out. So a lot of these tend to be just really up close face pictures.
Is that a cigar? Oh, it'd be cool if it was.
This was a guy named Ted Peterson. He was an offensive lineman. You get a view of L.C. Greenwood's head, Mel Blount's head. And this one's really cool because you see how Latrobe was back in the day. It was just basically two hillsides.
Actually, Tom McGinley, who his dad owned more of the Steelers than Art Rooney at one point that I was friends with. He's passed away since. He was telling me the stories when he was a kid. They used to have to go out there and pick rocks out of the field before practice.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah,
and
right?
The fun part of that is the Steelers used to take weightlifting equipment, and the guys would just bench press on the sidelines.
Yeah, literally right there.
Just one thing real quick. One of the coolest pictures of all time is this picture of Myron Cope with Bowling for Dollars. You have to be as old as I am. This isn't for your generation at all. But Myron used to do a Bowling for Dollars show where he would go to a local alley and regular people would try to win money bowling. Look at the suit he has on there.
Is that like the lottery they were doing at the time?
There was the daily number was something that came off of that. These are two pictures of Roberto Clemente getting into a car. So these were found in some old 35 millimeter negatives and were developed. These are actual pictures of Roberto Clemente. Pretty cool stuff. So if you're going to training camp, take some pictures. You never know. If you're cleaning out the house, look through the negatives. You never know what cool stuff you might find.
All right, let's open these up. We got 88 Dawn Russ here. No gum in this one, which is fine by me because I don't know if I can handle two pieces this week. I can't think what Tom Glavine might be the only rookie. Oh, look at that. McGuire.
Roberto Alomar would be.
Yeah, you're right. Alomar.
One in
That's
there.
a nice McGuire Diamond Kings. Oh, look at that.
Mr. Bonds.
He'll be inducted into the Pirates Hall of Fame coming up. Oh, look at that, Mark Grace.
There's still talk that he could eventually get in. If Todd Helton got in, Mark Grace has a shot.
No, he should be in. Actually,
Well, we're getting past the steroid era right now, so the competition
Allegedly.
is going to get a little tougher to get into the Hall of Fame.
all right. Outside of McGuire and those two, it was pretty much duds, but those three actually made up for it altogether. So growing pains.
And that was a cello pack.
So we were talking off before we started filming. What, Leonardo DiCaprio? I wonder if his rookie card would be in this.
It would have to be.
I mean,
because
if-
he was like 12 years old when growing pains was a big deal. And this is hearkening back to the age of sitcoms when the world was a little bit happier place. I did not know there were growing pains cards.
No, it's just one of those things I come across. Have fun, Caden.
As was big with all these guys, they always had a sticker in there which made a puzzle on the back.
That was sharp. I think I cut myself.
These are in fantastic shape for
Oh,
that
yeah.
time frame.
I'm sure graded at a 10, you can get
Alan Thicke, I think he
20
passed
cents.
away.
Yeah, he has. It's been a few years. All right. So I teased it on social media, and I did mention it briefly last week. So in the mail this week, obviously I wasn't waiting on this one. Skenes. This is the tops now. This is a pristine Beckett 10.
You do not see pristine Beckett 10s.
Yeah, these are hard to come by.
That is a tough call right there.
And honestly, I ended up getting this for a little bit less than a third of what one went for the day before. There was 4 of them that ended in auction within 20 minutes of each other. So let's say one's ending at 20 after, one's ending at 25, one's ending at 30.
First time it's not mine.
Well, no, it's happened before. That was actually probably the festival people calling to confirm us. That just might have increased our rate. But anyway, so let's say, like I said, 20 after, 25, 30, 35. You want to get those 2 in the middle. You don't want to get the first one, and you don't want to get the last one, because they're, depending on how the other ones go, it could go astronomically high or low. So my advice would be get one of the ones in the middle when you're in a situation like Skenes right now is hot. So much of his stuff is online, rightfully so. So, but we were talking last week, the Pirates. So, you know what? Skenes has outperformed everyone's expectations. Even someone like myself, that I was like, okay, he'll be up at, to a Super 2. And I figured he would probably end up with double digits wins, low double digits. And he's even exceeding that. So what were you expecting of him before the season started?
Me personally, nothing close to this. I thought the Pirates, this would be another one of those setup years where they would just throw away another season and try to build next year. And what has happened, if you really pay attention to the Pirates, like I know you do, I do as much as I can.
Going to game number 14
they are
tonight.
Yeah, he's going to the 14th game. This will probably be my 5th tonight, still up in the air. But everybody around someone like Paul Skenes gets better. So this team, they're playing above their heads right now. I still think there's moves that need to be made if you seriously want to contend. But right now, post All-Star break, you're a half a game out of a wild card. You're going to play St. Louis a bunch. If you add to this team, who knows what I don't think they win a series. That's where the problem lies. Getting in is one thing. Winning a series is a totally different ball game. They need bats at that point.
And I think they are going to make that move, but you can't part with, my opinion, Johnson and Chandler.
No. I've said that since day one.
Which is why a guy like Ward from Anaheim is maybe that's a name that's being floated out there. I can see happening because I think he can be had without parting with either of those two. But so now we're talking our expectations before the season. So, but last week, you don't think this is a 500 team without Skenes?
No, they're playing above their head because of him. If he wasn't there, this team would be in the tank, and you'd be looking at trading Cabrian Hayes and possibly O'Neal Cruz.
You know, you had the Pirates winning more games than I did.
In that thing, in the lottery thing or whatever we call that.
Reeled in.
Eternal optimist, but
I had to do
anybody
it.
who thinks this team can, I'm going back to anyone who can win this, thinks this team can win a playoff series the way they're constructed. It's just not going to happen.
I think it would depend on matchup.
You run into the Dodgers, you're not going to be able to hit your way out of the Dodgers.
It depends on what that Dodger team looks like at the time.
I know they beat Philly, but this isn't when it counts.
But see, so look,
I don't want to rain on the Pirates parade. Nobody's happier this
no.
team is competitive than me.
No.
I'm so sick of garbage Pirate baseball.
And those days, I think they're going to be good for a couple years. This team's built for the next few. I really believe that.
Well, if you don't do a Tyler Glasnow type trade for one pitcher like they did with Archer, you can't do something like that.
No, which is why I said,
to get Bellinger and you're giving away stuff just because your minor league pitching
which is
great.
why I like a move like getting Ward from Anaheim without having to part with one of your top 5 prospects.
Well, that's addition through subtraction. If you bring in Ward, you don't have to have Sawinski's 180 batting average.
He's probably filling some depth somewhere in return for whoever comes here, and rightfully so, because I
think you need 2 outfielders. Personally,
I
think you need 2, and you need Henry Davis to return to some form of something.
So
Henry Davis has hit 2 home runs this week in Indy. The bat's got to come up here.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, and I agree.
So does Freebird need to come back with him?
Yeah, he switched out of that. He wasn't using that the last game.
That's the last thing you use to break up a slump is the greatest song of all time.
I'll let you guys debate that. Anyway,
never not going to take a chance to give Freebird credit. Don't even think it's going to happen. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, where were we? Because it's
Henry Davis.
Yeah, so you know what? If his bat's coming along in AAA, he could fill one of those outfield spots. And then you only need to go get someone like Ward. Or, I threw out the name Vlad Guerrero Jr. last week, which if he could be had for the right price, I think that's the move. I think that makes the Pirates a legit contender.
So you're not a Rowdy Tellez fan for the rest of the way? Because you're stuck with McCutchen at DH.
That's not a bad thing.
So if you bring in Guerrero, Tellez has to be the DH. He's splitting time with McCutchen at that point.
Yeah.
Guerrero's going to play first base. Plus, he's going to be a ton of money.
Too. But he's already.
He's too fat to play outfield.
Guerrero?
He's fatter than me.
Well, he plays it. So.
But yeah, again. Bellinger, you're looking Ward. Ward's the cheap one.
Yes.
You're looking to move ahead and win a series.
You got to go
need a name.
You need the Bellinger or a Guerrero.
Santander's.
That's another one too.
I'm still on Santander. Baltimore will let him go.
And the Reds put it out there that they're willing to move on from everyone that's on expiring contracts, which normally means you can get them on the cheap. Mm-hmm. So there might be someone Isn't
that where the Pirates got Marlon Byrd?
Well, that's where I was going with that. They've
jumped in.
That's good. They've made some good moves with the Reds both ways over the years.
Well, right now everybody's holding their cards next to the vest. However, that saying is, nobody wants to give up anything right now. You almost have to wait until the non-waiver trade deadline happens.
Yeah, and that might be the route the Pirates go. So
that's where the Pirates have always gone.
Yeah. You want anything before we wrap this segment up?
I've had enough.
Yeah, me too. We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Ashley with the Fayette Chamber, here today with another ribbon cut. Today we're in beautiful Connellsville at the Integrative Wellness Community.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Stellar Show, Fayette County TV, Channel 77, Breeze Line and Q Call. Yeah, we're actually, we're in, Q Call goes into Maryland. So to all you Terrapins down there, we are. And what are we doing over here?
Rick brought this in. This is something since we're Olympic week. It starts Friday. We're taping this on Tuesday. I want to wish everybody on the U.S. Olympic team bring back a bunch of gold medals. But this is a basketball from McDonald's. From Dream Team 2.
That'd be 94, 96?
92 would be 96.
But then they did a...
That's the Atlanta.
Wasn't
this Atlanta?
But they did a... Yeah, actually not. Look, because they did that, up in Canada, that like FIBA series or whatever. I think that's what that is.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
One of the great disasters in promotion history was when I was a junior in high school, 1984. McDonald's had this scratch and win game. Mm-hmm. It had gold, silver, and bronze. The Russians and most of the communist bloc countries decided not to come to Los Angeles for it. And McDonald's to their credit, honored all of that. When America got a gold medal, you got a free Big Mac. Silver was fries and bronze was a pop. You would just walk in there with stacks of tickets. We were throwing the patties away, eating just 4 burgers at a time. That was a wonderful summer.
Oh,
Kudos to McDonald's on doing that.
Yeah, I don't see that coming back anytime soon.
Anytime soon.
Before I forget, DJ Rick will be up at Iron Rock Tap House for Greensburg Idol. It's every Thursday through the end of the summer. Still some time to get up there. Grab something to eat while you're there. So check that out. Also, Fayette County Day will be at Washington Wild Things on August 31st. I believe tickets are only $10. Wild Things is a great place to watch a baseball game. It might not be, Major League like Pittsburgh and whatnot, but I've never had a bad time there. And also, before I forget, Fayette Friends of Animals, where I adopted the Duke. There's a lot of stray cats and dogs over there that could use a good home, so get over there, grab one, and help them out. So I see we were just talking Dream Team. This is everyone from Dream Team 1 here?
This is the original starting lineups. It was in a box, bought the whole box. This way you get to see them all.
Yeah.
And trivia question. There's 10 here. There were 12 on the team. Who's missing?
I'm just saying Leitner's got to be missing.
Leitner was not allowed to be on it because back then there was no such thing as the NIL.
So I just said Leitner just because it was obvious, and the other's got to be Magic. No, there's Magic
Magic's
there.
right
Wow,
there.
okay, let me look at this.
Most people forget this, and there's a story too why the one player I'm not giving him the name, there was a battle.
Well, I'm sure there was.
And he was a late addition.
Okay, so
The big controversy
should have been Isaiah Thomas.
Should have been Isaiah Thomas.
And it should have been
that's correct.
Shaq over Leitner, to be honest.
The argument's there, but
I get it.
Leitner was player of the year.
You already had centers and whatnot. You had Robinson and Ewing, so you didn't really.
But Leitner hit the shot against
Yeah.
Kentucky, and they won a national
Go ahead,
championship.
throw it at me. I'm drawing a
Clyde Drexler was the
wow.
last one to be put on
You're
there.
right.
Now, this is something that goes way back to that period. This is what all those came from. So the key with this nowadays is the box, if it's in tremendous shape, you can send it in to be graded and add the value to it. One of the things I'm disappointed about this one is it doesn't have a KB or a Hills sticker on it. Sometimes those make this nostalgia a whole lot more believable or better.
Woolworth.
Yeah. But on the back, you have all the players on there except for Drexler and Leitner. So they had 10 in there. And if you can look real close, take the picture of this, how sharp the edge is on it. This one is in store
That's
shape.
pretty good, yeah.
This is in
the tape's a
tremendous
little
shape.
faded, but outside of that, everything's pretty good there.
Yeah. And how do you feel about the whole thing where this current Dream Team is trying to say that they're as good as this team?
Well, I couldn't tell you more than 4 guys on the current one, so it's not fair for me to have an opinion. But it was something we were.
Oh, and I did bring, before you go there, this is a jersey from the Dream Team from Nike, and it has the gold inlay inside of it. It's pretty cool.
That's not one of the ones that Karl Malone's wife picked up whenever they threw him on the court.
Crazy.
Was that brilliant? She got
Beyond
$3 million for Jordans alone?
Yeah.
Wow,
Shoes
good for
too.
her.
She took it all.
Yeah.
They just walked out with it. But go ahead. Where were you going?
Oh, no.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good. I had a, whatever. So,
Yeah, we were talking the Dream Team back and forth.
So I know, like, this current Dream Team, I know over the years there was a drop-off. Mm-hmm. And honestly, when it started happening in the early 2000s, unlike the NBA, they started actually calling fouls, which is one of the things that cost the NBA Olympic teams over the years. I remember one year, I think they were playing in Italy, whatever year that would have been, maybe 04. And I'm watching, and it just seemed like every time one of them was coming up court, the whistle was being blown, and just because they weren't used to actually having to play by the rules because they weren't in the NBA. Because
the NBA has recently adopted the Euro hop, and you basically got 3.5 steps nowadays with the hop, where back then that was traveling was called.
Well, it was supposed to be called.
Yeah.
It depends on who you were.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a Nike contract, you didn't get called for it.
Yeah. Well, which team would you take? The Dream Team of '92 or the Olympic team of 1980? As the greatest Olympic.
I'm not. No,
There's your choice right there. Which one?
I'm taking these guys. What they pulled off is absurd. That's one of the greatest upsets of all mankind, let alone sports.
Yeah. I'm kind of have to say I'm with you on that.
Yeah, these guys here.
For fame and notoriety, there's nothing close to this team, but the story, the movie, the whole 9 yards. The story was a movie.
Yeah, and it became one. I think he did that a couple times. But anyway, well,
the Kurt Russell one's the best.
That is true. Oh, anything else going on before we wrap up?
No, I'm out of bullets today.
All right, look for camp updates on Stellar Show, and also maybe Fayette County TV social media updates. We better see you at the fair next week. What do you got before?
One last thing, remember, Stellar Collectibles is now closed on Monday, open on Sunday. Stop up.
Rise Wrestling is next. Well, let's do that again. Whatever. There you go. Rise Wrestling's next.